Welcome guys, so I'm doing another sealed today. It should be number 7. We've got 24 hours left to play sealed, and I've got enough gems for a couple more tries at it. If we do well we might play another, but anything more than 2 is a bonus. Let's see what we get. Alright, looks good. We've got this red 1-drop, Vindictive Flamestoker. I've seen this a couple of times already. So it's a 1/2 for 1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on the Flamestoker. And then for 1 red and 6, sacrifice it, discard your hand, draw 4 cards. It costs 1 less to activate for each oil counter on the Flamestoker. So this is a really good 1-drop, in my opinion. It's going to be great in maybe a red-blue spells deck with lots of proliferate effects and lots of spells. So that's a good start. And talking of blue, we have Blue Sun's Twilight. I have had this card once before, and I can confirm it's absolutely fantastic. It's completely broken in limited, I would say. So it's 2 blue and X, gain control of target creature with mana value X or less. So it's an instant 2 for 1, right? They lose a creature, you gain a creature, and you only spend 1 card to do it. If that wasn't enough, if X is 5 or more, so you're spending 7 mana, create a token that's a copy of that creature. So they lose a creature, you gain 2 creatures. So 3 for 1. Utterly brilliant card. So it's looking red and blue at the moment. We also have another red rare here, Urabrask Heretic Praetor. I remember the other Urabrask, I think, from New Capenna. Let's see what this one does. So for 5 mana you get a 4/4 haste, so that's pretty good already. At the beginning of your upkeep... Oh, sorry. This is literally the New Capenna Urabrask. Right. I forgot that all of the Phyrexians from previous sets are available here. I've had a couple of Sheoldreds from playing All Will Be One Limited. Right, so this is my first copy of this. So at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, the next time they would draw a card this turn, instead they exile the top card of their library. They may play it this turn. So if you can drop this on turn 5, it's really good. The earlier you can drop this, the better, because then any sort of late game spell they top deck, they've got to play it this turn. They might not have the mana, and it's gonna obviously mess up counter spells, instant speed effects that obviously they're gaining value from being instants, combat tricks and things. So very good card. And we've got Urabrask, the Heretic Praetor. We have Urabrask's Forge as well. I've managed to get 3 copies of this card already, so this is my 4th copy, and this is really nice. So this gets oil counters like our Vindictive Flamestoker. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put an oil counter on Urabrask's Forge, then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urabrask's Forge. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. So, yeah, really good with proliferate effects to build up the oil counters a bit quicker, and that trample is very important in a few games. This could get sort of stopped by first strikers, but I don't think there are that many things with first strike you can use on defense. I know there's the white common that gets first strike on attack. In the rares, there's of course Glistener, which has it's the 3/3 Death Touch First Strike. Just you see, I've seen one of those before, but this adds a lot of pressure. This is a good card. The Seed Core is interesting. I did get this once before and I decided not to play it because I probably should have played it because I had a couple of 1/1s, but I thought it wasn't enough 1/1s and I didn't have enough poison to get corrupted consistently, and I decided instead of this I was better off with another swamp because it was going to help me cast 9 of my... I had 9 Phyrexian creature spells, but it was going to be like, 12 black cards, 11 blue cards, so I felt like if we're not using poison that much in the deck, I was better off with a swamp. So we might not be using poison and it might not be worthwhile using this. But we do have Phyrexian things, so obviously this is a Phyrexian. This is a Phyrexian as well. So it might just be a good land if you have a lot of Phyrexian creature spells. Here we've got legendary creature Human Scout. Oh, this one's very interesting. I did run into this. Malira the Living Cure. So 2 mana for a 3/3. If you would get 1 or more poison counters instead, you get 1 poison counter. And you can't get additional poison counters this turn. It stops the poison. Or it reduces the speed. You get poison. You still get 1 poison counter a turn. You can exile her to choose another target creature artifact. When it's put into a graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you can use... At instant speed, you can use this to save one of your creatures or artifacts that's about to die. It doesn't come back tapped either. It comes back to the battlefield. Really good card, but it's not going to be better than 3 red rares and a blue rare, to be honest. So I think I'm going to try and do these a little bit quicker. Usually I go through every colour and use the BREAD acronym, bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, dross, to just thin things out, pick out the most interesting cards. I think I'm immediately just going to go, hey, we're going to try and make the best blue-red deck we can. So... And I might just skim through the other colours later, just quickly. So we'll see if we can make a deck. So Aspirant's Ascent, I'm not that keen on. Let's see how many blue cards we got. We got a few. We got a few red cards. Looks like it should be enough to make a deck. We've got a very key blue-red card, which is Serum-Core Chimera. I will admit I've not managed to use the activation on this yet. But it's still 2/4 flyer for 4 is pretty good. So we'll put that in there. There is this nice green-blue flyer as well. I don't know if we'll be able to splash for a 3rd colour. Right, anyway, so Aspirant's Ascent is a combat trick. Typically, I don't play combat tricks that much. It's either going to be 0 or 1 in the deck. Glistener Seer. I like cheap mana fixing things, so this can scry potentially 3 times, help you dig for land in the early game. It's actually really good. It's also 0/3, so a nice little wall as well. The Skull Bomb can be a cantrip, so that's also in an emergency. Try and dig for a land early, and it can possibly slow down your opponent if it's, as long as this creature doesn't have haste. Because the bounce effect here is sorcery speed. But you could slow down your opponent. Escaped Experiment is a good 2-drop creature. What I'm going to do though is skip past that one. Okay, Malcator's Watcher, Flying Vigilance, and you draw a card when this dies. I think this is very good. It's good for blocking those, 2/1 flyers, the 1/1 flyer that's toxic as well, and it gives you value when it dies. Thrummingbird is the next one. Another great 1/1 flyer, and this does the all-important proliferate, which is going to go well for our oil plan. The Chrome Prowler is good. It sort of taps down a creature, but it's there are two ideas in blue-red. You can go for oil. There's at least two ideas, but it's mainly oil, and artifacts is another thing. So this is kind of in the artifact spectrum. So this is great. We'll probably use it, but we'll skip it for now. We're going to try and find all of the oil and proliferate things. I have Malcator. This is another thing for the artifact idea. Gitaxian Raptor. Very happy to see this. So yes, 1/4 flyer. Great for blocking. And we have one removal spell. Mesmerizing Dose is good, and it also proliferates as an added bonus. Unctus is Retrofitter. It has toxic. It kind of goes with the artifact idea. It makes one of your artifacts a 4/4 for as long as this remains on the field. So this is actually really good, but we leave it out just for the moment. And we definitely want to play Blue Sun's Twilight. This is definitely a bomb. So that's this is kind of a minimalistic approach. Yeah, this is how many kind of core blue cards we want to play. So we've got 7. So to make a deck, of course, we need 23 non-land cards. So 11 and 12 is usually what you're aiming at. So can we add 4 blue cards here? I'd say yes. I think depends on whether we need more 2-drops. We've got these. If we can do, if we need 3 drops, we've got this and this, which are both very good. But we might. Well, this. I don't know if we play Eye of Malcator because it does scrying. That's a nice bit of value, but it's not defensive. It just adds beatdown to your deck. So I don't know about that. But I know this is an artifact creature that we're quite happy to play. This is an artifact we're quite happy to play in any situation. So we'll look at red. We've actually got 3 free from flesh. Combat Trick for 1 red gives +2/+2, and you put 2 oil counters on the creature. That's very interesting indeed. Very good on a Serum-Core Chimera, for example, or the Vindictive Flamestoker. I don't know if we play 3 of these, but let's, because they're thematic with what we're going for, the oil deck, I will add all 3 just for the moment, and see what it looks like. I don't know if we can get away with 3, but we'll see. So this destroys an artifact, and if it's your own artifact, you get 3 1/1 goblins, which is, it seems intriguing to me. That is a lot of goblins. And there are various things that obviously give you, there's equipment cards that give you a 2/2. It's kind of like you get 2 things when you play them, so maybe you can sacrifice the equipment and get some goblins. We've got Axiom Engraver, so gets oil counters, it's cheap, and it can sort of do a bit of mana fixing. This is very good. We've got Blazing Crescendo. This exiles the top card of your library. I think this is dubious. We would not want to, for example, exile Blue Sun's Twilight. I don't think there's any need to play this when this is kind of designed for a very low to the ground aggro deck, I would say. Not when I'm going for kind of a mid-range with some big sort of knockout blows that are designed to come later on. The Hexgold Halberd, here's one of the artifact things. So yeah, it's nice enough. It's a 2/2. You get 2 things with it. You get this is an example of a first strike creature that isn't a rare. So it's at uncommon, and you get first strike and trample. So that is pretty good. I think maybe the fact that it's got trample and first strike, I think that's a really good 2-drop. I think we want to play that. The Shrapnel Slinger, I don't usually select this one because it's very specific. You've got to kill an artifact, and maybe there's not that many artifacts, or you're not guaranteed to find a target for this. Otherwise, it is a 2/2 creature for 2. It's a classic grizzly bear, so it's playable. It's not bad. Right, next thing, Kuldotha Cackler. This is a payoff card for playing an oil deck with lots of permanents, so we want that one. And Urabrask Forge, obviously we want this one. This is great. Volt Charge is great. 3 damage to anything, and you proliferate. That's great. Awaken the Sleeper is the steal card. You can temporarily steal something, and it will. As its added bonus is, if it's equipped, you may destroy all equipment attached to that creature. I wonder, do you steal the equipment as well? Alright, no, I think on casting this, it destroys all the equipment. But maybe not. It's good. I only play these cards when I've got ways of sacrificing things. Potentially you could play Gleeful Demolition, steal an artifact, blow it up with Gleeful Demolition, but get your 3 goblins. It seems convoluted and unlikely to happen. Urabrask Anointer, this is another payoff for oil. Really good card. It's also an artifact creature as well. Obviously we're playing Urabrask. The Oxida Finisher, affinity for equipment. 7/5 trample for 7 mana. We don't have to play this. It's a pretty good card. We're not playing much equipment. We're probably playing the Halberd though. But that's about it. We're not getting much price reduction. So maybe it's a 7/5 trample for 6. Maybe it's just about playable. We'll see if I'll leave this here for now, but we might add this. Because we're looking at red, we find a red-green. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent you control with oil counters. Isn't that interesting? Can we splash green for this guy? Let's look at the oil strategy in green as well. That has a proliferate. So I'm thinking splashing green might be the way we go. So we're not so interested in cheap green creatures in that case. 2 basilisks, that's quite nice. We're actually close to a deck here already, so it's like we've been very selective in our picks, and we've almost got a full deck anyway. I quite like the basilisks, to be honest. Mazes Mantles are no. Noxious Assault, yeah. This 2 green and 3 creatures control get +2/+2. Whenever a creature blocks this turn, its controller gets a poison counter. It's pretty nasty. But obviously for the poison deck, this is the huge poison creature with Toxic 6, the Paladin of Predation. We get the Living Cure, but we need to splash white as well. I don't think that's happening. Tainted Observer is definitely very good. Probably not worth playing the Basilisk splashing through the Death Toucher, I reckon. What we'll do is look at artifacts now. This is good. We've got Terramorphic Expanse. We have the Seed Core as well. That is a fire. Yeah, Cinder/Slash Ravagers is a Phyrexian. Tainted Observer will be a Phyrexian as well. So the Seed Core is effectively another forest, but it can also do other things for us. Do we have any? Oh, we do have. Here's a 1/1, and here's another 1/1. So I think this is where we do play the Seed Core. Also, the first token we get is a 1/1 from this. Usually you'd want something that makes little 1/1 mites, but we probably don't have that. So what we want to do here is find all of the mana fixing things. So Dune Mover is mana fixing. Prophetic Prism is mana fixing. It draws us a card. We also have Phyrexian Atlas. And Skitterfang is a good oil creature. Let's think about using that one as well. So now we're up at 42 cards. We've got to ask, do we have enough 2-drop creatures and 3-drop creatures? Yeah, 7 and 8 is pretty good. I notice we have a lot of 1-drops, and that's because we're running lots of Free from Flesh, and maybe it is too many. So I think we can quite easily just cut that down to 1. I'm thinking the Dune Mover might be a bit questionable, but it land fixes for me, so I think it's good. I think I like the idea of the Observer and the Cinder/Ravager. I think it's worth splashing for these two things. I mean, this does 1 damage to all my opponent's creatures. That can really mess up some decks. And it works with oil. And this does proliferate, so that works with oil as well. We'll see. I'm just going to go back over what have we missed, what have we dropped out, left out that might be really good. I think it's Chrome Prowler. Could be pretty good. The Retrofitter could be pretty good. We'll check how many artifacts we've got. We've actually got 9 artifacts, so this guy's very playable, I think. If we want another creature that can turn an artifact into a creature as well, or turn one of our artifact creatures into a 4/4. Means we can get more value out of the Prism and the Atlas if they're otherwise not very useful. We've got more Free from Flash if we want them. I think the other things probably not the big creature here. I'd rather have a Cinder/Ravager as my sort of top end creature. So that might be what we go with, but let's have a look at what we're missing out in white. Is there an amazing... Oh, I haven't seen this before. Swooping Lookout. 1/2 Flying Vigilance for 1. That's not bad. I did get messed up with Zealot's Conviction, so the important thing, if someone's corrupted, I mean, this is not only just a flash first strike thing. They get to keep first strike. So I was getting beaten down by a 5/5 first strike in a game I was playing earlier, and it was very difficult to deal with. I'll tell you what, I feel like we don't have very much removal. I suppose we've got Volt Charge and Mesmerizing Dose. But that's about it. We've got the 1 damage sweeping effect here. We've got the Anointer. Oh, right. I was wrong about the Hexgold Halberd. I never read cards properly. It says, as long as it's your turn, a quick creature has first strike and trample. So it's not defensive first strike. That would be probably insanely overpowered for an uncommon. But giving anything first strike and trample seems very powerful. Especially if we get one of the big boys out. Anyway, I was going through this. 2 Complete Devotion. This card is an absolute nightmare for me. I ran into a guy who played 4 of these. I think it was in the constructed event, but still. Yeah, 2 that would be quite a good reason to play white. We've got the Duelist, Incisor Glider. Oh, a couple of planar disruptions. Annex Sentry as well. White's looking quite good. Flensing Raptor's a nice flyer. The against all odds, I'm not sure about this. But yeah, it can be... It's good for exiling one of those equipment cards to make another token, like Hexgold Hoverwings. This is a really good flyer for 3. It's a 3/2 for 4, but obviously it can give other things flying, so it's extra value. Yep, and the Living Cure we have as well. We may as well look at black. Skull Bomb's pretty good. So basically a Raise Dead cantrip for 4 mana in total. The Dross is good. 2 Anoint with Afflictions. Wow. We have a very good white-black deck, by the way, here. And 3 Blight Belly Rats. Edict doesn't go very well with the pacifism effect. The planar disruption, they can just sacrifice their pacifism thing. So it's either or, with I think, with Edict and the planar disruption. 2 Scourges is nice. Infectious Inquiry, nice. Shoulder's Head Cleaver's very nice, yeah. There's a good white-black deck here as well. We skipped over green a little bit. Yeah, there's a few toxic things, are there? Yeah, there's the 2 Basilisks, that's a good reason to play green. And the very big creature. Noxious Assault could be pretty nasty. Couple of Ruthless Predation as well. It's a good removal spell. And the Canopy. So you could go green-white to play Melira, or green-white-black. But I think I want to play my res, my other res, because we can play 4 in this deck. Blue Sun's Twilight, Urabrask. We can play the Seed Core as well. Urabrask Forge and Vindictive Flamestoker. So we've actually got 5 rares in the deck. I mean, rares, they aren't necessarily going to be great, but I don't think they're trash rares. I think they range from being decent to really overpowered, like Blue Sun's Twilight. I think I'd probably only play 1 forest in this deck. And then I'd see, what do I want to do on turn 1? I do have a blue and a red thing I want to do on turn 1. But I've got a double blue spell here that's 3 mana. I do have a double red spell. So I think you'd go for the extra land would be an extra island, so you can get the Mesmerizing Dose going a bit earlier. Then in the lands you've got 4 sources of green. In the deck you've got 2 more. 3. You've got 3 fixing things in the deck. So essentially 7 green sources. I should be able to cast my green spells pretty reasonably. Yeah. And the things we're having to miss out are the 2 combat tricks. I think maybe 1's enough. Yeah, and the Unctus Retrofitter is pretty cool. Anyway, so I'll call that end of part 1, and I'll have a little think about the deck and see if there's any alterations I want to make. So thanks for watching so far. And I'm back. So I have made a small change to the deck. I've decided Unctus's Retrofitter is excellent. It's 3 mana, and it can potentially add 6 power and 7 toughness to the board on turn 3. For example, if I do a Prophetic Prism on turn 2, It could also turn my Malcator's Watcher into basically into a Serra Angel, 4/4 Flying Vigilance, and that could swing in on turn 3. That sounds very good to me. So I decided to drop the Surgical Skull Bomb. So this is kind of a, yeah, I suppose a utility card. You can sacrifice it to draw a card if you need a land or something early on, and it's good against. It can bounce, a big creature that doesn't have haste quite profitably. You draw a card as well. But I think Unctus' Retrofitter is a bit more aggressive. It's just better. And I want to keep the creature count high. I don't want to drop a creature. So yeah, 15 creatures. I think I've got the Halberd as a creature basically. So that's a 16th creature. Unctus can make another creature potentially, and the Forge can make creatures every turn, just on the offense. So we're in the kind of ballpark of 17 creatures here. We're a bit lower, I guess, on removal because we're using a ramp card here. We do have Urabrask Anointer, so that's a creature which is a removal card. So I think we're doing all right. We're pretty good for the balance between creatures and removal and stuff like that. Let's see. I think I want to have an appropriate card back here. I think I like this guy. It didn't. Yeah, it did work actually. Okay, cool. I think we'll just go ahead. The other thing is, I don't think I need much more early card draw because I've got the Seer. I've got the 2-mana artifact as well. The 2-mana red creature who can discard and draw. So we're not bad for early fixing. So I think hopefully that's the right balance. And there is a good white-black deck available, but I want to play my rares basically. Just comes down to that. I think it's worth it for the ridiculous bombs I've got in red and blue. Okay, so the situation, we have a removal spell. We could do turn 3. Probably we might be able to play Urabrask turn 5 if we do need another red, and we need green for this. So it's not the best hand. We are drawing an extra card, but we've got plenty of mana, which is good. We've got our 2 most awkward to cast red and blue cards, and we got a green card. But we've just top decked a forest, so that changes things. We actually have an aggressive 3-drop that we can play. Okay, he's going for oil as well, and we've top decked a 2-drop. That is absolutely brilliant. Right, he's hit his 3 lands in 3 turns. I'm going to be the same. He had an extra forest, I guess, and then he's got a 3/2 creature. Ooh, we're very happy to see that card. We're not going to block with the Thrummingbird. We may as well attack with it. We'll play this. So we're still looking for that second red for Urabrask. This does a proliferate, so we want to do this after he's got a poison counter. We'll let that through. It's not great. It's not a great way of taking out a Serum-Core Chimera because it's still got this nasty ability on it. But I'm thinking, yeah, we could just, because we don't have that much to do. I feel like using my mana this turn, even though we lose a proliferate from this, and he gets to keep the Serum-Core ability, which could be very dangerous later. When we get 6 mana, we could steal this, but I think we've got to go for a bit of a tempo game here and do what we can with what we've got available. So we'll tap that down. Submit 0. And then we swing and we'll see if we get 2 poison counters onto this guy. I think we should. Orders it correctly. Very nice. And we have top deck that mountain, so we've got Urabrask to play next turn. And we're not going to lose our Blue Sun's Twilight with Urabrask, because we've got it in our hand, so that's the bonus. And we could probably even play a Cinder/Ravager if that gets revealed. Okay, he's got removed 2. That dies, and he's going to slam in for 4. Oh, and he's got a nice blocker there. Fair enough. Okay, lots of options. Ideally, we want to do this for 7 mana, and we've got 6 mana available. Play the mountain. So we don't really want to trade with the Watcher that much. Urabrask is the most aggressive thing we can do here. Or we could play a bit defensive, play a Serum-Core Chimera. But this can potentially ruin his draw phase. I think let's go aggressive with this. We don't particularly want to trade off with this, so yeah, we'll go in. And we're getting smacked for a lot of damage as well, but I'm going to be aggressive. So potentially taking 5 damage this turn, just with what he's got available. He's got a Hexgold Slash as well. So that is 7 damage. He could put 2 oil counters. Oh wait, yeah, that's a removal spell. I thought it was the pump spell for a second, silly me. Okay, very good. We exile an island, and that's our... we're going to hit 7 mana. Okay, I think let's keep going aggressive. This is very risky. I mean, we're looking at 5 damage again next turn if he can take out my blocker. I have made this mistake before. But we've got a big turn coming next turn. I think what we do, we'll play a Serum-Core Chimera. We hold back with Urabrask. We want to block the Centurion. Because we could die here. All he needs is removal spell for Serum-Core Chimera. That could be 2 mana. And a +2/+2 pump spell. This has literally happened to me quite recently. So that's, yeah, once bitten, twice shy. And we don't want to lose the opportunity to just completely swing the game in my favour with a Blue Sun's Twilight. So, yeah, I won't attack there. I don't need that extra 4 damage this turn. And lose a blocker. So he's got an island. So that's worked out for him. Okay, he got 2 damage. And something happened. Was it the Serum-Core Chimera doing stuff? Yes. He managed to blow it up with 3 damage by discarding a Sky Warden. Then he's got a 3/1 Toxic. Okie doke. 3, 6 mana, 7 mana. I think we gotta go for the. Well, I think I want to go for the Blue Sun's Twilight. He could top deck a big creature, and then I'll slap my forehead and feel like an idiot. Do we want the 3/1 Toxic 2? And copy. Do you want 2 copies of that, or 2 copies of a Forge Hammer Centurion? I could even get 2 copies of Malcator's Watcher, just for the serious card advantage. But this guy's pretty good. I think, yeah, maybe just go for the 3/2, the boring 3/2. Gets me a couple of blockers. Yeah, okay, Blue Sun's Twilight. Here we go. We've got 7, right? X equals 5. Boom. We could get a tapped Serum-Core Chimera as well. But I don't want to do that. I'm going to take out a potential attacker he's got on the ground. Let's auto-pay it. I can attack, I think. Okay, block that. Have to take 1 in the air. That goes to the graveyard, that gets a token. Okay, cool. Let's play the Terramorphic Expanse first. Take a land out of the deck. Get another mountain. Then we can Prophetic Prism and draw a card. That pumps you up by 1. Okie doke. And it's just 3 oil counters this thing needs. Then we'll play Skitterfang. Take action. So I think I want lifelink on this guy. That seems pretty good. I'll swing in like that. Bit scared of, you know, big combat trick. Let's kill the dude on the ground. Gain 3 life. Bit of lifelink on the Chimera, maybe. No, give himself lifelink. Draw a card. Play my Malcator's Watcher as well. So I've only got 5 damage. I'm not presenting lethal. This just does flying, vigilance, death touch, or lifelink. And he's going to put a removal card, I'm guessing, on top. Ruthless Predation. Okay. Oh, we have only 2 oil things, but it does 2 damage to any target. conceded. Okay. So I could have gone face with that, basically. But yeah, tricky decision with the blue tap spell, having to do it on the Serum-Core Chimera. Not ideal, but was the most aggressive move. Cool. We saw Urabrask, we saw the Blue Sun's Twilight, so cannot complain at all about that game. We have a lovely 2-drop here. We have a removal or a ramp spell for turn 3. Yeah, seems good. That gets us our green mana if we need it. And gets us to 4 as well if we don't hit a land. But this thing, we don't have any oil in the opening hand, that's the only drawback. But we might just play this as an aggro thing for turn 4. Cool, that's more mana fixing, but at least it replaces itself. Okay, 2-1 lifelinker, so we've got facing blue-white, might be blue-white artifacts. Cool, yep, there's a tap land. We'll go for the Halberd guy here. So my option for turn 3, I could play the tap land and just play a Prism, try and draw something with an oil counter. Don't have to play the Atlas. Oh, the game has just frozen for me. So, oh, it's back. Thank goodness for that. I was about to quit the game there and reload it. So that is a 3-2 lifelink. Because he got pumped up by that. We could trade off with this guy. Because we've got kind of a slow start. I think there's no point me attacking because he's got a 0. And I'm back. Some bad news. My computer just crashed again there, and I couldn't get back in time before things timed out. So we get a loss on time there, unfortunately. Good news is that hasn't happened. This is the first time that's happened in 5 days. So some of the technical changes seem to have helped to make my computer sort of not fall over quite as often. I'm keeping an eye on I'm looking at the temperature of my CPU. 64 degrees. That's a little bit high. I'm going to try and get through one game, and then maybe give the computer a rest. Might have to have a little rest to cool down between each game, because it looks like 2 games in a row might be a little bit too much at the moment. So if we play another sealed, we're going to stick to best of 1. I think this means as well. But we'll see if let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just see if we can get through another game. Fingers crossed. So basically, before I loaded up the game, the CPU was about 34 degrees, and then it's jumped up to 65 after loading the game. Well, this looks like a decent-ish hand. We can get green for the Observer, so that's good. We've got nothing for turn 2, but that's okay. See, it's a little bit laggy. Just seems like a complete roll of the dice at the moment. The performance of Arena and my machine. Okie dokie. Well, let's play this guy. We're not gonna trade. We're gonna try and just steal this with Blue Sun's Twilight next turn. So they might take 2 poison here, but we're sort of okay with that. On the other hand, in 2 turns' time, Cinder/Ravager is going to come out and kill this. I could just chuck out my Retrofitter. He won't do anything, but he will be able to just... Well, I was just saying, this is coming out in 2 turns' time. So if I'm trading off with it, that doesn't really make much sense, does it now? I could do... Well, I could play this. I could steal the Basilisk next turn. Okay, now let's do Blue Sun's Twilight for 2. Grab it. Swing in. Get some poison down. We go to 3, so we are corrupted now. And just remember when we play... Yeah, we can play this creature and proliferate. And give him another poison. So that's pretty good. That is brilliant. It's a 1 toughness creature we can kill next turn. Love to see it. And... Okay. This is coming in. Play a mountain. I quite like the Seer. Okay, let's hold this for a second. Let's, just in case we hit an artifact. We'll play this and proliferate. And then I don't mind losing this guy, potentially. But I feel like I have to block. He's going to steal that with his Blue Sun's Twilight. Nice. We'll take another poison here. Actually, wait. We're okay. Oh, do we want to... It's a good chance to take out his Death Toucher. I mean, we could get through with 2 poison here and get him to 5 poison. But we'll go to 4 poison. And that will be... That'll go on the defense. He'll try and trade off for the Ravager. So, yes, definitely we trade off here. Okay. Interesting. We held back with this. We can actually go Skitterfang and Retrofitter. But we kind of... If he... Oh, but then this is a 4-4 if we do that. Yeah, as long as we play this first. Then that's a blocker for his 3-1. Seems reasonable. There's a chance, possible chance he could play another 1 toughness creature. So we'll decline that and do no attacks. And end the turn. And this thing is getting cheaper, of course, because of the oil discount. And he's got nothing better than to make a hill giant. That's good for us. And he's just got a hill giant basically every turn from now on, which is going to be challenging for me, but I'll go to 4 poison. Yeah, once he gets to 6 land, it's very dangerous. Then I'm getting a poison counter every turn from this as well. So I've got basically, I'll have 3 turns left. Okay, my turn. No, wait. I get to scry. I knew there was some reason. Crackler. Okay. Okay. It doesn't get an oil token, unfortunately. So I won't be able to double spell. I want to kill his 1 toughness creature, so we'll do this. Take action. And just, I could give it lifelink. And swing in. If this swings in, obviously he can still trade. That probably means we don't lose by running out of life points, at least. But he gets an extra blocker every turn now. Ooh, okay, that's good. 5/5 vigilance. Has summoning sickness. Has crew 3, so this can crew it. We go to 5. Could be worse, we could have gone to 6. Anointer. Okay. That will hit for 2 damage. It's not enough damage. And we can only do a single spell, I think, here. Right, so this guy can get Death Touch. Obviously, this is going to be a nice big blocker for him. Potentially this dies, but I think he's going to want to trade this for this. That makes sense to me. Could give it flying. I'll give it Death Touch. Feel like I've got to check everything twice. This one and this one go in. And we could have given that lifelink, and I could have played dumb, and then I could have killed that with 1 extra damage. Ah, that was the play, wasn't it? Okay. Oh, please don't crash again. Okay, we're going to play this. We'll hold the Anointer back. There's a chance we can get another oil token on something and hit this thing for 3. But I notice, yeah, when it completely freezes and lags out like that, that's a sign that a crash is on the way. And I'm back. Yes, I'm afraid I had more bad news. That had the same issue again. Blue screen crash, and it took too long to get back into the game, and I've timed out. On the positive side, this has inspired me to give the inside of my PC a bit of a spring clean. I grabbed a toothbrush and cleaned all of the fans, including the power sinks, and I got a fair bit of dust out. And it seems to be running a bit cooler. It's, okay, 51 degrees Celsius it says here. It was 60 degrees at this point last time, so maybe 10 degrees matters. Maybe, well, it should do. Maybe we can get through a game without it crashing. So I'm willing to. I mean, I've done something, so I'm willing to give it another shot. I had a test game with Sparky, and that went fine. So, I wonder if it's something, maybe something about the animations in when you're actually in a game that challenge machines quite a bit. So I'm going first. It's not the best hand. It's a 2-lander, but we've got discard and draw with this guy. So I think, yes, we keep. Do we discard Urabrask? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, yeah, you got me. I was relying on that guy. I was relying on that guy to fix my hand. Sometimes winning is just that simple. Oh, well, we hit a land. That's amazing. We are indeed blessed. This guy has Ward 2. He's very difficult for me to interact with. And sure enough, the first creature I've got is the thing I want to keep hold of until I get an artifact. We'll have to play it, I think. And just suck it up. so that gets pumped now to 4-3, so we can't block it now. Okay. Sure. Hit another land. It's looking good. Now we could just Volt Charge this guy, or we could go for the Free From Flesh combat trick next turn. I think I'm going to... I think I want to attack. Then we get a poison counter onto him. So the proliferate from this gets him to 2 poison. I'm pretty happy with that. That might be important. He might not want to go to 3 poison now. Oh, he's got the expensive one. The 4-3. Okay, so he could equip this to this guy, which would be pretty incredible. That would make him a 6-4. 6-4 creature. I want to play my Phyrexian Atlas. So it's not looking too good for me here. The that Sheoldred's Edict really messed me up. Not gonna lie. And we're relying on a combat trick here. Sort of want him to re-equip the equipment here. So I can get to 5. Oh, and he can finish me off with Ambulatory Edifice. Okay, very nice. Well played. Oh, and he's got yet more hobbledehoys. Okay, 6 mana. Which means, well, I could tap down the Edifice and play an Observer to deal with 2 of his creatures. Or we could try and tap down the Lightbringer, who's very likely to get this Miran Bardiche. Well, Urabrask. I could just play Urabrask and not attack and use him as a blocker. Then he equips this here. I can tap this down, and then this is going to get this is going to be a 3-2, and that can trade with the 3-2 flyer. Okay, it kind of. Can he play that? Yes, of course he can. But he's got a choice of equipping this, I think. Unless that's a land. Play the Hive Master. That is 4 to equip. So he's not equipping that this round. That's good news. Okay, we can have an Atraxa Skitterfang. That seems good. And we can have Tainted Observer. That seems good as well. Right. So, I mean, he can push through with a big chunk of damage here. We can give this flying and hit for 4. Oh, we could give him lifelink. And he has to trade 2 creatures to kill this. Yeah, I think we're giving him lifelink. We're going to offer him a trade here. I'm guessing he'll do these 2 to trade off because he gets a might when this dies. Not going to block. Okay, gets a land. And sure enough, that goes on there. It becomes a 6/4 creature with vigilance as well. Yeah, that gives vigilance. Okay, we're taking 6. Very nice, we hit a land off the top. I could Serum-Core Chimera proliferate and put him on 3. I kind of want to tap this and gain life. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, 7 mana. This proliferates, doesn't it? I can tap this guy down. Yeah, I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna tap down this guy. Submit. Get a poison. I'm gonna play the Thrummingbird as well because I get to ping him. Which is pretty cool. Take action. Target this creature. Let's give it lifelink again. Swing in. Let him trade off as he wishes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You get some might out of that. Again, 4 life. Of course, that is drawing me an extra card every turn, so maybe that was a bad idea, but I feel more comfortable gaining a bit of life. So he can get this, yeah, he can use this guy, this thing, and get that to 3/2. That's going to be a 5/3, okay. 5/3. So What do I not mind losing? I think Traxxas Skitterfang can die. I'll block the Might. Assuming he's got some kind of combat trick. Take 5, okay. Okay, we'll play a Serum-Core Chimera and Proliferate. Okay. Guess lifelink. Now, I'm thinking, do I want to attack with a Thrummingbird? I'm going to say yes. It's an okay trade with the Siphoner here. He doesn't... And it's one less creature that he'll have on the board to put the Bardiche onto. And end the turn there. Down to 6. Oh no! X11 mites. Jeez Louise. Oh, and everything dies, of course. Nice. Got to remember to do that. Put him down to 16. He just gained quite a lot of life. I mean, the Urabrask wouldn't have stopped that. Yeah, he got me. We're out, unfortunately. Oh wait, we're not quite out. We can draw a card off the Surgical Bay. Don't forget that. Oh my god, that's so close to being awesome. 5 mana. Oh. Guess what? I did that thing where you hold an island. You hold a land in your hand, right? And I was against black. He could have had a discard. Well, you want to hold up a card. If I'd played that land last turn, I'd have had 6 mana for the Ravager, and I've just swept the board here, and had a good position, good chance to win. I'd have got at least another turn. Okay, I think that's a good game. Unfortunately, I'm going to try and play it and see if it lets me know. No, it doesn't. It's only 5 mana. Oh well. At least we got through a game we lost legitimately. I'm happy, in a way. Yep, it's another good rare that's done a good job there. Gonna tap that. Do your point of damage. Oh well. We kept a sort of we're on the play there, but we kept a dodgy 2-land hand. But we had the 2 mana dude who could mana fix, and then he did the Sheoldred's Edict to kill it before I had a chance. So then I missed my land drop turn 3. So that gave him the initiative. So it was like as if he was on the play. So kind of that can happen when you are on the play. You have to kind of make the most of it. You can't slip up. Anyway, so we finish 1 and 3. 2 of our losses were due to technical difficulties. I think the deck was reasonably good there. It was pretty darn good, I would say. I think both the games we lost to technical difficulties. We had chances. I think the first game, I can't remember exactly. I think the first one I lost there, I was gonna win. Second one, it was in the balance. So I think the deck itself was pretty reasonable. I think it's a decent idea. Oil and proliferate. Making sure you play your cheap mana, fixing cheap card draw things so you don't get stuck on 2 land. Yeah, and in that last game, it didn't occur to me he would do White Sun's Twilight, sweep the board, have an army of mites, and that I might need to tap 3 land to play Surgical Bay, and then need 6 more mana after that to play Cinder/Ravager to sweep the board. I'm not like a galaxy brain. I didn't see that far ahead, unfortunately. But if I did, I'd have played that island the previous turn, and boom, might have still won the game. But there you go. Maybe you should just play your lands. Maybe this idea of holding out a card in your hand, it's just a kind of it's probably good sometimes, but maybe in that board situation, maybe there wasn't much point doing that, and I'd be better off playing the land. Obviously, in hindsight, I was better off playing that land. Anyway, I was happy with this deck. I thought this is a really nice sealed deck. So just a shame the way it turned out. We are gonna have enough gems to play another one, and I will do that. And if we just do a little temperature check, let's check the old hard drive. Okay, 61 degrees, 60 degrees. Okay, that's okay. That it can survive at that temperature. So I think maybe I've done a good thing today, even in dire circumstances. It's sort of inspired me to finally give my PC a spring clean, so that's something. Let's claim our prize and get our packs. Let's look at, sign up in 13 hours. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's call that a video. So thanks for watching. If I actually decide to release this video, but yeah, it was a good deck, I think. Anyway, yeah.